Hello, fellow glue sniffers and sprue sniffers, and welcome back to Blitzkrieg Model Works. I'm Bob, you know me as Darkland on the forums. How's it going, everybody? So, a little bit of a new aftermarket part review. I've actually been sitting on these for quite a while, and I honestly had thought I'd done a review of these already, but talking with some guys on some of the Facebook pages I'm on, I totally forgot that I hadn't done it and totally meant to. These are white metal track links made by a company called Armour. You can't really tell on the package because there's no English at all other than the mistranslated create miracy. It's probably supposed to be miracle. They're white metal link and link, very similar to Fruil model, which have been the standard of the industry since the 1990s. They were like the first white metal track company out there. They use the same wire as Fruil do. Same with like Spade Ace that I'd reviewed before, although Spade Ace use like a stainless steel wire as opposed to the brass or aluminum wire that these guys do. But I got something a little extra with these, and that's this little pack, which again, I don't read Chinese, so I have no idea what it actually says, but I couldn't believe it when I found these. They're track pins, CNC'd brass track pins, and they fit in the tracks like silk. It is unbelievable how nice they are. Now, there is an entry in scale mates for our model, but there's no reference to a website or company location other than obviously China. I have only been able to find them from one supplier on eBay. Period. I have looked all over the place. Nobody seems to have them except this one guy on eBay who's where I got these from. He's got quite a few. They do a lot of World War II stuff. They do some modern stuff. Like they have, you can get Bradley tracks, M2 and M3 Bradley tracks with the pins. They have Leopard tracks. They have M1 Abram tracks, so on and so forth. But I've got these because I wanted to do a Panther project. I've actually got a couple of different sets of these, so I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison. Now, pretty much everybody knows how Fruil come. They now come in boxes. They used to come in a big bag, and you get two bags. I've opened these and kind of sorted through them already. That one is closed. They also come with a little loop of wire. Now this is a fairly old set. I got probably in the late 1990s, early 2000s. The new Aber come with brass instead of this aluminum. They go together fairly simple. Push the links together, push in the wire, trim the wire with your appropriate cutter, paint or burnish, whatever you like. Now these come in one big baggie. There was wire, but it was the same wire that was in there, and I didn't need it anyway because I got these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at, these are for the Panther late model. So the only difference between the early and the late models is the late models had these little chevrons for gripping on ice, whereas the early ones were just flat. They look pretty well molded. You have the gaps in the guide horns. I should have left the Aber ones out. Do a quick comparison like I did with Spade Ace. There we go. So this is the Aber, and this is the R model. Let's do a quick comparison here, side by side. They look pretty much the same. The Aber have a little bit of extra detail on the sides. But other than that, they look pretty much the same. Backside. Get everything lined up here. Look pretty much the same. Again, Aber, our model. The Aber teeth are a little bit wider open, but workable. And that one's actually, on the other side, it's actually plugged, so that'll have to be cleaned out. Just for giggles, they do not intermesh, so they're not copies, they're not recasts, otherwise they just click right in. They're pretty close, but not quite. Now, The big thing that I got these specifically for, this is what perked my interest. And I couldn't buy these without getting these just in case they didn't work for the Fruils. But I could not believe so you have the head. Try to get this so it stays focused for you. There we go. So that's the brass track pin. They do ones for Tigers as well. Tigers actually are more like a hex bolt, and it is actually machined in there. So plug these in, and it just I can get them lined up. Yeah, that just drops right in. Done. So at the very end, that's what they look like. They just don't quite come through the other side, just like they're supposed to. And you can just pop them out. You just take another track pin and you pop them out. So that's pretty cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these and give them a quick wash. I have an ultrasonic cleaner with some industrial vinegar. I want to try and see how that washes. And then I'm going to put them in some burnishing solution. I've got another set of Fruil track links, and these ones were the ones I was going to use for my upcoming project. And they have actually already been burnished. These are the ones that I was doing when I did my little tutorial on the patina fluid. So I'm going to try these, and I just thought, just for the heck of it, I'm going to see if these track pins fit. I can't remember if I did this before or not. Just bear with me. Nope, they don't fit. Not. I don't know if I got it lined up. No, won't go through that side. Won't go through that side. So you have to drill out the furls. Just double check on some unburnished ones. And no, it's a no-go. So you'd have to drill out the furls, but if you have the R model ones, they just slide right in. A little bit of wiggling maybe, and that's it. So I'll be back in a few minutes, or just a split second in your time. I'm going to throw some of these into that ultrasonic cleaner with some vinegar, and then I'm going to toss them into some burnishing fluid, and I'll come back and they'll be all, I'll have some that have been cleaned but not burnished, and some that have been. Okay, back in a sec. Okay, so we've got our patina applied, and I use this. This stuff is for stained glass caning, the lead caning, the groove channels that you put stained glass into. This batch was washed before burnishing. This batch was not washed. This side was scrubbed with a toothbrush with soapy water. This side was put into an ultrasonic cleaner with industrial vinegar. The top batches was done with brand new, never before used patina. The bottom ones were done with patina that had already been used once, just to show you the difference. Now here's some of the Fruil tracks from my original review of the patina, and these were washed, or no, these were not washed, pardon me. And that's how they came out. Now if we look at washed by hand versus washed in the ultrasonic cleaner, I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but when I'm looking at in real life here, I don't really notice a difference between the two when you look at them. Some of them developed kind of a rust, which is kind of cool. Some of them did not, and it doesn't really matter which pile you take them from. They're both like that. Now the ones that were not washed look very similar, except there is noticeably more rust buildup on there. So there is something on these right from the factory that if you like the extra rust, then by all means throw it on there, or don't wash them first. So then likewise going through ultrasonic cleaner versus hand wash with the once done patina. It's a little lighter, potentially maybe a little more realistic. Doesn't look like it has the primer that they would have put on the tracks from the factory for the real ones. And then versus one that isn't washed at all, there's really no difference. So from my perspective, at least using this particular patina, I'm not seeing a difference one way or the other, whether you wash or you don't wash, other than I get a little extra rust, which isn't overly realistic, but you're probably going to end up doing some dirt and mud washes anyway, so that's just going to get filtered out when you do all your weathering. But if you do want a much cleaner looking track, then definitely, yeah, scrub them off, or if you got an ultrasonic cleaner, you can throw them in there. And it didn't change any dimensions or anything. The pins went in no problem afterwards. So that's the review for the R model tracks. Fairly impressed. Unfortunately, like I said before, they're only available from one dealer on eBay. I cannot find anybody anywhere that actually carries these as an inventory item, otherwise, as I said, this one shop on eBay. So I'm going to again have that in the description below. And thank you very much for watching. I do really appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.